Welcome everyone to Throwback Gaming's Our Life Beginnings and Always Let's Play Part 3. Last time we had our play date with Cove, which started off pretty well, until we realized that our big sister Lizzie was also going to have her friend Shiloh come over for a visit. And the reason why this was a problem was because Cove began to freak out when he found out that someone else was showing up without his doing. So his reaction was to try to jump out of our window and run from the house. However, we convinced him that it was a bad idea because he might break his other arm. And he listened to reason and did not jump out the window. Thankfully. But once he met Shiloh, and as the day went on, things got better and everything worked out. And at the end of the day, we ended up at the park, so Shiloh could see Lizzie, and so Cove could play at the park. And everything turned out alright. Now we're at the moment section of the game for Step 1, which are mini episodes, which are optional, which shows character development and things like that. And the goal is we're going to start with shopping, and then do grown-up, long day, Sandcastle Fireflies, and then we are going to do the DLC because I looked at it and it's not that expensive. And then we're going to go down this row till we get to Sleepover. After Sleepover, we're going to go to and then Summer Ended and begin Step 2. So let's jump in, shall we? Cove's dad. Come back before it gets dark, alright, sport? The familiar voice drifted across the street and drew your attention away from the snow you've been watching inch slowly across the pavement. Cove waited in front of his dad, pushing his green hair back off his face from where the breeze was blowing it over his glasses. He looked to be paying only a mild amount of attention as he was being handed a few slips of green paper. It reminded you of when you first met Mr. Holden, although he's probably not paying Cove to be friends with himself. Well, I would like to think so. Here, son, have a few bucks so you can be friends with yourself. That's so sad. Cove's dad seemed to feel your gaze somehow, or maybe you made a noise because a few seconds later, his eyes were on you. He waved you over with a smile. He looked happy to see you, but you still felt a little weird for being caught. You gotta learn to be more sneaky. Because these are very important skills, kids, learning to be more sneaky. Usually it's a bad thing. If you're being sneaky, it's because you're doing something you're not supposed to, most of the time. You brushed your hands together to free him of sand, then jogged over to join the two of them, smiling at Cove first and then his dad. Hi, Jamie.
How's it going?
Good to see you again. What excitement are you up to today, Jamie? Taking a walk. I found a pretty cool snail across the road. There's lots of snails around here. Mr. Holden grinned at you kindly. After you finished answering the question, Mr. Holden's attention returned to Cove, who was preoccupied with folding the bills he had in a tiny rectangle. This makes me wonder if Cove is OCD or something. Sounds fun. You know, Cove was about to hit the stores by the beach. Why don't you join him? You gave a ready nod, turning to squint in the direction of the stores. Like you could see the goods they had to offer all the way from where you stood. Oh, is that okay? Yeah, I don't mind. I like how he's smiling now. Great. I'm sure you guys will have loads of fun. Mr. Holden reached into his pocket and pulled out a leather wallet filled with money. He found it odd since your mom's only ever seemed to carry cards in theirs. Well, that's because most people don't want to take the time to go to the ATM and get money out of the ATM, so just carrying a card around. I totally get that. I'm the same way. It's like, work. But cash is usually better because it shows you how much you're spending. It's so much easier to spend money if you just use a card. Here. He leaned in to pass a crisp tin to Cove, giving him a wink and a whisper. Get something for your friend, too. Sure. That's my boy. Cove's dad ruffled his son's hair as he was straightening back up, the bill in his hand still held outwards towards the green-haired boy. Take care. Cove accepted the bill after a second and slipped it into his pocket. Then with one last nod to his dad, he turned and started walking. You followed after him, intrigued at the possibilities this outing might bring. Cove strode towards the gentle tide creeping up the sand, and you fell into place behind him. It was a nice day. The sun was shining, and there wasn't many clouds in the sky, though the wind coming off the ocean kept it from being too hot. Sounds nice. You took in a deep breath, enjoying the scent of the salt and ocean air. When you looked at Cove, he was dragging his feet through the sand a little, and you slowed down to wait for him. His eyes searched the ground intensely. Are you looking for snails? Are you looking for shells? What is this, a Dr. Seuss book? What is it, or you didn't feel the need to ask? Let's ask him what he's doing. What is it? Nothing. Okay, first of all, I hate when people say this, because whenever they say nothing, it's not nothing. You just don't want to say what it is. He kept staring down at the ground, though. You bit down on your lip a little, wanting to say something else, but not knowing what. The comforting sound of waves filled the silence with pleasant white noise. And you played a little game with yourself as you walked along, getting as close to the water as possible without getting wet. Okay, I feel like a lot of people do this, like especially when you're little. It's like you're walking by the water where the sand's like dark, but it's the water's not coming up, and you're like, okay, gotta try to get as close as possible without getting the water on me. I just think that's funny. It resulted in you having to run up the sand quickly when a wave rushed in more than a few times, and although Cove threw a few glances your way, he didn't say a word. He's like, what are you doing? But he's like not interested enough to actually say anything. He's just like watching, like kind of curious, but not like super interested. You did either, what did you want to go to the shops for, or what do you usually do on the beach? Let's ask him about the shops. Why is he going shopping today? I need a new sand pail. Oh. Maybe he's looking for his old one as he's walking down the beach. Yeah, what happened to your old one? Cove narrowed his eyes, seeming to think deeply for a second. I bet he left it on the beach and it got lost. Well, you see, it disappeared. What? Really? That face. Cove ducked his head down, placing his fingers behind his back. It didn't seem like he was going to continue, so you nudged his arm. How'd that happen? Well, you see... Cove opened his mouth and then shut it again, considering. I took it to the beach one day. Uh-huh. When I got home, it wasn't anywhere. That's because you left it at the beach. That's another thing. Kids gotta learn to be more, what's the word? They gotta learn to keep up better with their stuff. Like, I think when you're little, you just expect other people to do it for you. And I think that's what he did. He just assumed someone else, probably his dad, was gonna keep an eye, on the sand pail for him, so he doesn't pay attention to where it's at. And then when he gets home and it's not there, he's like, where's my pail go? Doesn't just magically come home, you know? Anyways. You left it there? Nope, it wasn't at the beach when I went back. Yeah, it's probably because the ocean washed it out or someone took it. I think the ocean probably took it down. Then you lost it. It disappeared. He's like, yeah, I lost it, but I ain't gonna admit I lost it. Oh, that's funny. What about you? What do you do out here? I don't come to the beach a lot. Well, I think that's a lie. I like swimming. Swimming is nice. I like looking at fish. Yeah, okay. I like to build sandcastles. Yeah. Or nothing. Nothing. No. I like to build sandcastles. Last summer, Lizzie and I built one that was as tall as me. And sometimes they have sandcastle building competitions down by the boardwalk. That sounds fun. Cool. I bet you could win. That's funny. You smiled at Cove. Maybe the two of you would build one together someday. That would be really cute, like when we're older. Maybe as like a play date. Well, not a play date, but like, you know, like a date kind of thing. Or just as friends. Either one would be cute. Once you reached the shopping area, the noise level grew exponentially. No longer just waves and footsteps, but the chatter of people enjoying the lovely summer day. The calling of birds, trying to find bits of food left behind, and lots of salespeople trying to get attention. You sniffed the air as you walked beside Cove. You could still smell the ocean, but there were other scents now too. Pizza, pretzels, hot donuts. Interesting. It's nice, it's not very nice, or it's alright. We're gonna say it's alright, because I'm not big on crowds, but the food smells good. There's a lot going on, but it beats staying at home and doing nothing all day. True. True. And besides, we're with our friend, so that's always good. You were sure that you and Cove could find something to fill the day if you looked around a bit. Cove was glancing around from one side of the street to the other, with a look in his aquamarine eyes that you couldn't quite work out. He's probably trying to figure out where to get a sandpail. What's that? Cove pointed to a large crowd of people gathered near a few tables with large, colorful umbrellas blooming from their middles. That sounds nice. You couldn't see past the adults who were blocking the way, but you knew there must be something worth seeing. Whenever there's a crowd, there's always something going on, whether it be good or bad. Without another word, the two of you hurried over to see what all the commotion was about. Feast your eyes on the amazing Alexander. I wonder what he does. In the center of the crowd was a man with a tall hat and a funny green coat that had 3 long tails. Well, that's interesting. There was a little table next to him with a cloth hanging over it that read, "The Amazing Alexander," in glittery golden script. Why tell people his name if it's already on the sign? It's because he's trying to advertise. By having that sign out there and by having his name spoken aloud, people will know that's him. So they can look him up and stuff. Cove hummed with others standing, and then turned to walk away just as the amazing Alexander began shuffling the deck of cards. Well, he's called the Amazing Alexander, and he's shuffling a deck of cards. What do you think his job could be? Obviously, he's a magician. Maybe we can stay and watch? Cove's like, I'm not interested. Cove glanced back at the man. He then briefly lifted his arms up over his sides before returning them to place. You grinned, waving for him to follow you as you raced back to stay to the crowd. With that, it began. The magic man pulled one card out of the deck, showing it to the curious onlookers. It was a floor of diamonds. Watch closely. You did, squeezing through a few of the adult onlookers to get a better view. Suddenly, the man snapped his fingers and the card just disappeared. Whoa. Cove's like, I'm not impressed. He's obviously seen this trick before. The amazing Alexander, who earned his title, turned his head and looked directly at you. He reached out with a kind smile. What's this behind your ear? Nothing? Tell me. Or you backed away. Tell me. This had to be going somewhere and you needed to find out. Exactly. He smelled like popcorn and candy when he stepped closer. It was great. It's kind of weird that an adult smells like popcorn and candy. Anyways. You felt a tug, and then he pulled the 4 diamonds out from behind your ear. What? You knew that it couldn't really have come from your ear, but still, you didn't know how he'd done it. There was a light applause from the crowd, and the man gave a deep bow. This is for you. The magician plucked a pair of balloons from a clump of them tied down to his table. Both were in the shape of a dolphin instead of being a normal circle. Hey, that's cool. One for you and one for your friend. Thank you for being my assistant. Thank you for the balloons, the amazing Alexander. Wow. Now you were really grateful that he chose you. After that, he went to someone else in the crowd. Pick a card, any card. My uncle does that every time he visits. Not with balloons, the stuff with cards. See, he did see this trick before. He's like, boring. I've seen this so many times now. It's not even funny anymore. Cove spoke plainly, reaching over to take the dolphin that had been designated for him. Maybe it wasn't so special. Cove is just ruining the fun. At least you had a fun time, or you wonder if Cove's whole family was magic. Oh, that's funny. At least we had a fun time. You saw a magic trick and you got a great balloon. There was more than enough to make it worth the while bit. That's right, Cove. Don't be a party pooper. You thought that if you could find a card to practice with, maybe you could make it disappear too. The crowd started to clear some, and he noticed to the side there was a whole rack of brightly colored kaleidoscopes on display. You picked up the kaleidoscope, you picked up a Rubik's Cube, you picked up a Magic 8 Ball, or you walked past the toys. Let's pick up the Magic 8 Ball. I want to see if it lets us ask a question. Oh, these are cool. You shifted your balloon string to the other hand so you could hold it up in front of you. Then you thought of the question in your mind, shaking the ball and hearing some kind of liquid swish around inside it. Once you have given it a good shake, you held it upright, waiting for the answer to appear. Concentrate and ask again. Why do I get a sassy undertone from that? You wrinkled your nose and set the Magic 8 Ball back on the rack. It wasn't the answer you were hoping for. Doesn't that sound right? You followed Cove around to the other side of the stall. He went under the awning, careful of his own floating dolphin, and you joined him. Did you have places like this in your old town? Are you having fun? I don't really like it here. Well, I think that's a lie. We just said that we liked it because of we got a magic trick and a dolphin. Or you said nothing. I think this one would make him sad. And this one is I mean, I feel like we should say something. Let's ask him if he's having a good time. He nodded and you smiled back at him, happy to hear it. When Cove moved towards some stalls nearby, you followed beside him. Oh, isn't that adorable? While Cove looked at Sandpels, you were drawn to a table of colorful keychains laid out on it. They were sewn in the shape of sea creatures, and there was a plaque that read Handmade standing proudly in front of them. Those are so cute. There was lots of different types. You saw a dolphin, a shark, a crab, and a sea turtle. That's so cute. They're so cute, but I think I want to go with the dolphins. Your hand stopped on the dolphin, so similar to your balloon animal. It was made of a bright material that caught the sunlight when you picked it up. You remembered once seeing a pod, which is a group of dolphins swimming out in the distance of the beach, jumping out of the water and splashing as they dive back in again. That's so cool. That was a great day. You were instantly enamored. I bet that was really cool to see. Checking the price though, your heart fell. $6. You didn't know much about money, but you thought that was a lot to spend on one thing. Well, it can be, but, you know. You rarely had more than a $5 bill to your name. Well, we don't have no money with us today, so I guess we can come back and get it another day. Is that what you want? Huh? Oh. It's $6. I didn't bring any money. It's fine. Really? Really? Are you sure? Hooray! You don't have to. Or, I don't want you to get it for me. I feel like we should ask either are you sure or you don't have to. We'll just say you don't have to. Cove didn't mind that. He took the keychain from your hands and that was that. He was holding a small yellow bucket for himself too. Oh, that's cute. I was gonna get the. Always gonna get you something. Already got the money for it. Oh, that's sweet. You smiled, pleased to have things worked out. It was nice of Cove's dad to let Cove buy something for you too. You had to remember to thank him next time you saw him. Yes, we're gonna have to thank Cove's dad for giving Cove money to let's get something. It's nice of him. After Cove paid, the two of you stepped out of the store side by side, your balloon dolphins stalking together and spiraling around in the air. You watched Cove hold up his new pail to his face, examining it thoroughly. Hey, Cove. Yeah? Your dad gives out money a lot, huh? Let's not mention the fact that his dad tried to give us money to be friends with him. I really like this keychain, or never mind. Let's tell him we like the keychain, since he bought it for us. Thank you. It's nice. Oh, I'm glad he smiled. Cove looked further down the street, where different food carts were lined up. Excuse me. He rested his non-cast arm over his stomach, and just as he did, you let yours out. Yours let out a little growl. That's funny. I think it's lunchtime. You hadn't eaten since breakfast, and after all this wandering around, you were definitely ready for some lunch. Let's get some food. Yeah. Do we have enough money for food? You two wandered around a short while, looking at all the delicacies that were available. Everything looked delicious, and as if the different smells, both sweet and salty, wavered over you, your stomach growling even louder. After passing up hot dogs, snow cones, ice cream, and pizza, you both agreed on pretzels. Okay. Cove got something sweet and cinnamony, and you got... Okay, he got a sweet and cinnamony pretzel. Okay, and we got a plain one. We got one with cheese. We got one with sprinkles. We got one with chocolate, or we got the same. I'm not a big pretzel person, but I don't like the cheese that comes with it. I don't think I'd like the sprinkles or the chocolate. I guess we'll try what he gets. You looked your lips hungry as the vendor handed you a pretzel over, ready to take a big bite. Your moms didn't like you to eat too much sugar, but this was a special occasion. That's fair. Gotta live a little bit sometimes, and it's like not like we have it every single day, you know? A little cup of icing looked too delicious to pass on. That sounds good. You found an empty table close enough to the beach that was the grit of the sand. Oh. You found an empty table close enough to the beach that the grit of the sand made terrible noises when you dragged the chairs out to sit down. Ugh, I would hate that. These balloons are going to make it hard to eat. Cove placed his bucket on the table as he stared at this still balled up hand that was wrapped around the string. You opened your mouth to agree before an idea hit you. I know. After carefully placing your pretzel somewhere where it wouldn't get sandy, you tucked the balloon dolphin out of Cove's hand and tied it in a delicate bow around his wrist. Oh, that's actually a smart idea. Cove bounced his arm up and down in place, testing the stability of your knot. After watching the balloon joust around but remain attached, he smiled satisfied. Can you do it for me? He repeated the ritual. Cove struggled somewhat with the cast restraining his fingers on one hand and a string already tangled around the other. Got it. The two of you spent a moment admiring your handiwork, both hands now free to allow easy munching on your pretzels. That's cute. You bit into the doughy treat, savoring the taste on your tongue with a smile as you looked out over the ocean. After a time you finished your pretzel, you were done before Cove. It was boring to have nothing to do. You pulled on the string of your balloon to bring it down to your level. Then you held the dolphin in your hands, manipulating it to look like it was jumping through the air. If you turned to face towards the beach, it almost looked like it was swimming in the waves like a real dolphin. Aw, that's cute. A laugh came from your side. He's probably watching us play with this dolphin. When you glanced back at Cove, he had left the remaining part of his pretzel on the wrapper and was gripping his dolphin too. He wanted to play along with us. That's cute. Mine is named Merryweather. He is the Prince of Dolphins. Huh. I never heard of a boy named Merryweather, but I mean, you know, I ain't gonna judge. He is the Prince of Dolphins, after all. Mine's name is Splash. They star in movies. I like how they use they. That's cool. You know, like, non-binary, or, yeah. Or, my name's Sherry. She's actually an alien. Okay, an alien dolphin. That's cool. Or, my name's Sam. They're just a regular dolphin. Okay. Is our balloon the prince? Do they star in movies? Is she an alien? Or they are just a regular dolphin? I think we should pick one of the top 3 ones. You know, let's go with Splash. Their trainers use fish and treats to help them perform tricks. They're the most famous dolphin in the world. That's cute. You sighed wishing you could star in a movie with a real life dolphin. What, like not Free Willy, that's the movie about the orca. Flipper, yeah. What's yours? Cove considered this question, placing the balloon against the table and resting his free arm across it in contemplation. It's... With a loud pop, the dolphin exploded into ribbons. Oh no, he popped his balloon. That's no good. Oh no. For a second, all Cove did was gasp and shock like you. Then his cheeks puffed up, squinting his eyes, and you saw his tears start to glisten. Come on, we were having a good time all day, and now this has to happen. We should give him our balloon. Since he's the one who bought us that keychain, you know? Jamie, you made a joke. No. You offered to find Alexander. You offered to give Cove your balloon, or you didn't say anything, he'd be alright. Okay, first of all, this one's wrong. This one's wrong. And obviously we're going to give him our balloon. You looked at Cove, then to your balloon, bobbing gently in the air above you. You could have mine. That was better than letting him cry more. Cry? Cove cries a lot. But, I mean, he's been through a lot. His parents got divorced, and he's still, what's the word? He's still getting through all that. So, we need to try to make him happy when we can. That's also what good friends are for. Cove sniffled, glancing up at the balloon, then back at you. No, it's yours. I don't want to take it from you. It's okay, really. Cove shook his head. Even though it wasn't your fault, you still felt bad. Still, the offer seemed to lift Cove's spirits, and that was good. The passing of Cove's balloon was the last major event of your adventure. Okay, it's not funny, but I like how it said the passing of his balloon. That's kind of cute. You know, it's like, rest in peace, Cove's balloon, whose name was never mentioned. In the end, the two of you headed back late that afternoon. You separated on the beach, and while Cove went straight home with his brand new pail in hand, you decided to sit for a while. You watched the waves in the sunset, fiddling with your new keychain. Another summer day was drawing to a close. It had been a good one, except for the sad final note. You should have took our balloon, or we could have shared it, you know? And that's it for shopping. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like. Subscribe to the channel, know when videos come out. And next time, we are going to do the grown-up episode, which should be interesting. I guess we're going to play house, maybe. But until then, I'll see you next time. Peace out, everyone.